I'm building a lamppost, and the majority of this project will be made out of AZEK, which is basically PVC, and I'm using this material because I don't want to worry about the lamppost rotting over the years. And since the bottom of the lamppost is in the garden and there's going to be a lot of moisture around it, by using AZEK, I won't have to worry about it. Now, there's definitely a downside to this material, and I really don't enjoy working with it. The downside is it makes a very fine dust, and the dust has sort of a static charge to it and sticks to everything. So I made most of my cuts yesterday, and today I'm just going to start assembling everything. The lamppost will be made up of 4 flat panels. I've already put 2 together, and now I'm working on, or 2 sides together, and now I'm working on the next 2 sides. And basically, you build these just like you would a face frame. I'm using biscuits, and I'm using a new glue. This is new to me at least, and it's by AZEK, and it's specifically for joining AZEK. And I'm not finding this a lot of fun to work with either. And also, this was very expensive. This little container was $30. So let's go ahead and build the next 2 sides, and then I can start to make the box. The main reason for the biscuit is just to help align the joint. And now I'll use stainless steel screws, and they'll act as a clamp. The glue is water soluble for a few minutes, but it definitely doesn't clean up as nicely as wood glue. I just finished building 2 of the sides, including trimming out the flat panel, and I'll go over that when I build the next 2 sides. But I wanted to talk a little bit about how the measurements of the column work out. So if we look at these 2 sides, the stiles are 1 3/4 inches thick. And if we look at these 2 sides, the stiles are only 1 inch thick. And the reason for that is when the column is assembled, you'll pick up 3/4 on each side, giving you 1 3/4 stiles all the way around the column. I'll use the biscuit joiner again to help me line up the joints when I assemble the column, but I'm also going to temporarily assemble the column with the biscuits, and that will help me get a measurement for the flat panel on the inside. Now I'll use a sharp pencil and trace a line on each side of the column, and when I attach the flat panel, I'll make sure that I'm on the inside of that line by about 1/16 of an inch. I want to make sure I'm not too tight or even over the line, or I won't be able to put the column together. I've taken the measurement from the inside of the column, and now I'm ready to cut the flat panel. For the flat panel, I'm using 1/2 inch MDO, and that stands for medium density overlayment. It's an exterior plywood with kind of like a craft paper over it that's designed to be used outside. It's used a lot in the sign making industry, and this is a piece that's pre-primed. I'm using PhenoSeal, which is an adhesive caulk, and a few brads to attach the 1/2 inch MDO to the back of the column. Now I'm ready to trim the flat panels out, and for that I'm going to use a piece of cove molding, and I made this molding yesterday out of AZEK using a Williams & Hussey molding planer. If you want to know more about that, I'll put a link on the screen. Well, I didn't get a lot of time in the shop yesterday because I went on a short field trip. Two of my friends headed up a really interesting project about a year ago where they made the facade of a small town inside an industrial garage. And this was done for their client's antique car collection. And both of these guys are really talented, and I've made a short video about their project, and I'll get it up on YouTube in a couple of days. So what I got done yesterday before I left was I put two of the sides onto the front, I guess you would call this, to create basically a U, and this will fit around the post, and then I'll sandwich it all together by attaching the fourth piece. And once that's finished, then I'll start to trim the column out. Now also, I had to put together the top because I didn't have a large enough piece of AZEK, and so basically I just joined two pieces, but instead of using biscuits this time, I used a spline. So now I'm going to pack up all my tools and bring the column out to the front and get this put together. For the base trim, I'm simply using a butt joint. Because I'm using AZEK, I didn't really feel the need to miter the joint. I'm kind of cheating here, and I'm using pine for my base cap moldings, really because I just didn't want to take the time to make any of the base cap molding with AZEK. But I'm making sure that I prime the end grain, and I'll use a little Pheno Seal for glue. Well, I still need to fill and paint the lamppost, and I'll start working on that on Sunday because I think tomorrow it's supposed to rain all day. And it looks like it's about ready to rain any minute now. And if the video seemed a bit rushed at the end, that's why. I just kind of wanted to finish up and get my tools back in the barn. So if you have any questions on this project, just leave them in the comments and I'll answer them on a recap video on Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you soon.